When the boat is sinking, you have a choice to move out of that boat, not necessarily staying in that boat. And one of the things that most of the politicians from party A to party B is the fact that the boat is sinking. And there is nothing they can do, they can't help it, because they have political aspirations to maintain. And they also have people dependent and people that trust them with their mandate in order to deliver the dividends of democracy to this sect of people. In such an instance, are you then saying that if they move from party A to party B, it's amount to a political irresponsibility? Moving simply reflects high level of responsibility.
When they say the boat is sinking, you have to leave. The question is, you have to put the sinking, you have to leave. The question is, you have to put the boat in the fashion that it will not sink. Now, if your boat develops a fault, if you're riding a car and it develops a fault, your own job is not to abandon the car on the road and look for another car. You have to find a way to fix the car.
But you have to leave the car first to fix the car.
Now, even if you're leaving the car to fix the car, you're not leaving the vicinity of the car. You are still interested in fixing the car. Now, coming to the political angle of it, let me use some instances. Akwa Ibom State. Is there any problem on the internal state party issues of PDP in Akwa Ibom State? You just want to align. Delta State, is there any problem there? Even some members of PDP are not still saturated, or, is even their problem. It's a question of secretary and not secretary and all those kind of things. That is not significant enough, because they can fix this issue if they are sincere to themselves. So it is that lack of political responsibility and sincerity to fix their issue that is what's causing that. So they are acting on the angle of political responsibility to demonstrate that they are not responsible to fixing the problem in their party. So that is where I'm saying it. Because if I have my house in disarray, my job is to fix it, not to run and change to another house. So PDP has a problem that is fixable. But most of these guys do not want to do what we call political give and take. They don't want to get people together under closed doors and say, guys, we have to fix our problem. And how do we fix it? Some people will lose, some people will gain. We need to have a unified front. So that conversation has not held. So who is responsible for doing that? Every one of them that has left the party, the leaders of the party, they share the blame. So it's an act of demonstrating that you did not show responsibility to fix your home. That's why you're leaving to another people's home. So if APC develops internal wrangling, what do you do again? You move again. Because they don't have political ideology. And even their party does not have political ideology. So the politician does not have political ideology, neither the party have any political ideology. So that's why everybody is walking around.
All right, let's talk in terms of Nigeria as a one-party state, or it has a potential right now to be tailoring along the path of a one-party state. But then, you are the professional in this whole analysis. When you look at it, are we there yet in a one-party state, or we already? How fast are we driving our Hummer Jeep gearing towards the one-party state as it stands right now?
The coinage one-party state is the easy angle people take to criticize the leading government that they're trying to create a one-party state. I don't subscribe to that. We're not in one-party state. We're not heading to that. We just had a few bunch of lazy politicians that do not want to show leadership, show responsibility, and fix their issue. One, in fixing their internal issue. Two, in properly engaging the government in power. So we're not in one-party state. However, we have very weak, fragmented opposition parties.
All right, so you say we're not in one-party state, but we've seen a situation where right now the All Progressive Congress, even at the national level, at the All Progressive National Summit, where President Bola Tinubu was unanimously given an endorsement by the National Working Committee. He was given an endorsement also by the National Assembly, caucus. He was also given an endorsement by the Governors Forum. when you look at all of this endorsement, by that automatically means what the National Committee was saying was that, if I get them correctly, was that there's not going to be any form of primaries even within the All Progressive Congress, that President Bola Tinubu has been adopted as the sole candidate for the All Progressive Congress come 2027. And by extension, a lot of states are towing that path already. Taking Benue State, for example, just 2 weeks ago, where Benue State also adopted Governor Alia as their sole candidate come 2027. Looking at all of this narrative and going with the fact that Nigeria has always been a country where the incumbents always maintain the status quo of returning back to office. If this status quo is maintained come 2027, won't this automatically mean that all the governors across the country, by what we are seeing right now, will definitely toe the path of the All Progressive Congress?
You know, in our political arrangement and framework, there is the Senate President advertised their past bills within very few minutes. They passed bills within very few minutes or hours. So the Senate is not a problem. The National Assembly is not a problem. So some people have dubbed them as an appendage of the executive, which I don't understand it that way, but they've not been living to expectations.
You mean they call the rubber stamp assembly?
Some people say that.
All right.
Some people say they are rubber stamp National Assembly. But the point is that they've not challenged the executives enough, placed them on the hot brimstone to deal with issues that comes out of their malgovernance and all that. Then coming to the governors, they also have right of first refusal because they are incumbent. But that does not mean that other parties that are not the leading parties in all these states and even the government do not have the responsibility to organize themselves, fix their internal wranglings, and go to the Senate. Abia State Governor Okezie Ikpeazu, former Governor Okezie Ikpeazu, wasn't able to go to the Senate. Former Governor of the Enugu State wasn't able to go to the Senate. A lot of them were able to go to the Senate. So they were incumbent governors then. They have all the structures, all the momentum politically to fight the battle. But they could also, the purpose still reserves that ability to say what they want, vote where they want. But the question is the umpire. If the umpire would allow the people to express themselves and their expression to count, these governors moving about to and fro, it doesn't hold any water.
All right, with this bring me back again to that point where we begin to ask, in our journey to a one-party state, where are we?
In our journey to a one-party state becomes when there is no opposition voice.
Well, there is no formidable opposition right now that we can see. Are we not tilting towards that line with speed or in a slow pace or with aggressive movement, if you like to use?
We still have Peter Obi being the leading opposition voice, despite all the machinations.
And but you know that even Peter Obi becoming the opposition voice as it stands right now, his voice is not loud enough because people from behind cannot even hear him at this point.
Because they don't want to hear.
It's not because they don't want to hear, but then, you know, when one man is speaking and people from the back end of the congregation needs to hear him.
The argument is not that people are not hearing. The argument is that there are a lot of political deceits. There are a lot of people that are not responsible politically to fix the nation. There are a lot of people that are out there to do stomach infrastructure politics. So they are in there on which party, where am I going to align to be able to line my pocket easy? And where to line your pocket easily is APC, not through Peter Obi. You can hear Peter Obi saying that even people avoid him in airports because mere citing Peter Obi and them alone would make them not to be able to get favors, their businesses and all those kind of things. So the people that should support and synergistically support what Peter Obi is saying, they are politically afraid and irresponsible to do the work. So one voice alone cannot do that. So all of us collectively somehow has failed in providing engaging moments for the government in power. The politicians that are the players that are meant to synergize and make sure that their parties are working well to give robust opposition have failed in their responsibilities and they are running away from the pitch. where they're meant to be the attacking opponents in the play. How can you have a ball of 11 team and you run away from your team because you have one or two internal wranglings there? You're going to lose the game. And you have only one person there moving. One person there cannot match 11 there. So that is the reason why Peter Obi's voice, like you said, seems not to be heard. It is heard, just that a lot of political players and those that are not ready to align with public good because they want to line up with where their pockets will be lined. That is what has happened.
Well, Nigerians will want to toe the path of disagreeing with you to a very large extent. They'll say that it's not that they don't want their voice to be heard or don't want to even speak out, but then even the likes of the presidency, of the candidacy of Peter Obi, Atiku Abubakar, Kwankwaso, and Adebayo, and the rest of them that came out to contest for that election betrayed the trust of Nigeria by not ensuring that they do a follow-up even on their electoral mandate that was relinquished on them, and that's why Nigerians even gave up on them to a very large extent. But that's not even the conversation for now, except you want to react to that quickly. If at all they betrayed Nigerians' trust.
When you say follow-up, some obedience were not happy the way Peter Obi handled the outcome post-voting. Some people want to take actions that may likely cause some level of unrest, which Peter Obi was trying to prevent. But the question is, the people responsible to provide credible election failed in their duty. They promised that they're going to transmit, but they didn't transmit. So that's where we're going to base our conversation on why did that election fail. Because you said something, you didn't do what you said. So there is lack of fidelity in your conversation. So people do not trust you. That's why you failed.
So you're saying at this point that we can't say that the election was not being followed up by the obedient movement and by Peter Obi himself. As a result, the confidence that was reposed on him by the people was betrayed, and as such, people lost hope in that movement, and that's why Nigerians are a bit silent about even right now. And the voice of his voice is not even getting to the end of the podium right now, even across the country. But
people are giving up on INEC for not doing what they said they will do. And people are charging Peter Obi to be more pragmatic, more forward than being... It was a bit laid back in the last time. People are not happy. But those not happy about him being laid back, I'm not saying that he is no longer their guy. We have a lot of, people that are still there.
But the opposition has betrayed Nigerian trust as it stands right now and sold us out, even sold Nigerians out to a one-party state. But when you look at it from this light, Peter Obi claiming his mandate, or don't you think at this point that if Peter Obi has not gone ahead to further defend his mandate and other opposition?
He went to defend his mandate.
Well, he went to the point where Peter Obi began to begin to lose hope even on his mandate, whatever to begin to caution his supporters to please calm down and let's go by the books, and let's even, because people were willing to even support and ensure that that mandate was claimed. Same thing with Adebayo, same thing with Atiku, but they were able to caution this. This looked for Nigeria like a betrayal of trust that Nigerians repose on him. And right now, we will say that at this point that Peter Obi, Atiku Abubakar, and Adebayo, Kwankwaso, and the rest of them who happens to be at the minority end, they've sold Nigerians out. Majority of Nigerians out to the one-party system. But when you look at it from your own light, I might not be correct, but what do you think in this light?
They didn't sell Nigeria out. The people expected Peter Obi to be more vociferous, more challenging, more forward.
It's instantaneity. He was taciturn. Yeah.
Wanted us to play by the books.
His taciturity sold us out.
But that playing by the book, we know how things are. That it got to a point where we now started defining and what does and mean. It got to a point where they now started telling us that Abuja is a state, which I have agreed that Abuja is a state. So they got to a point where they started, finding ways to make the constitution malleable to be able to drive their narrative forward. See, people has defended something before, they change their mouth. Because now the question with people and Peter Obi and the supporters is that they had wanted him to apply more pressure, and he didn't apply that pressure. And he has said it before that the way he handled it earlier, which was a bit laid back, is not the way he's going to handle it again now.
Forgetting that in law, there is something called tempora mutante, ethnos mutenos in illis. That is, time change, and we have changed with time. Well, let's move on to even other pressing conversations from the fact that you have been able to elaborate on the fact that Peter Obi did not sell his supporters out. But let's look at the one-party system. Like I asked before, at the pace we are moving right now as a country, can we authoritatively say that we've not been able to evolve 26 years after into a full-blown one-party system with what we're seeing right now by the endorsement given to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on the various campaign posters in various sectors across the country? Can we say right now that we've evolved to a one-party system?
I'm afraid I would say that there are some leg moves that are suggesting one-party state, but we're not there yet. The problem we have is that we have weak institutions that are supposed to address these issues. What do I mean by weak institutions? Somebody has the issue of theft, stealing public funds. We have EFCC, ICPC there that are meant to do their work, but because of factors which I don't know, those cases you stop hearing of it. We have a case in Delta, former governor. We have a case in Abia, former governor. We have a pockets of cases everywhere. And even somebody from former chairman of APC said, if you cross to our party, your sins are forgiven. Now, when these guys make this cross-carpeting, it seems that the case we hear EFCC post about becomes cold. So, the institution is weak. These guys move to the party, get forgiven, and things remain the same. So people now see that, oh, even after stealing, I move to this party, I'll be fine. So people have lost that zeal to believe that this party can be challenged. So they give up. The political players are irresponsible to show some leadership and responsibility of addressing their issues and forging ahead. They also give up. So a lot of people are giving up on playing from the other side to oppose what the government is doing. And the institutions are also there not to support. The judiciary system has been called a lot of names because they've added to the disappointments Nigeria have faced in their electoral and the political system. The graft agencies are also part of it. So what do? People just move the easier way out, join the winning team, and that's it.
Well, Charles, students of political science right now are curious to even find out from you this dilemma that they found themselves in, even as a Nigerian political space begins to evolve right now. They are left in a state of comatose, confusion. Where do they place Nigerian right now? Is it a two-party system? Is it a majority party system? Is it a one-party system? Is it an elite system? Is it more of a religious party system? Where do we even taxonomize Nigerian political space right now into?
Thank you for giving me the right word. Elite system. Nigerian trying to reinterpret the Supreme Court. So these are the issues. And for the system, that's why I come about the weak institutions. The institutions do not see what this guy is doing actively and passively to caution him and place their judgment on clear perspective and matching order on how to make sure that their judgment is implemented. You just drop the judgment there and leave it there, and the guy is just throwing tantrums around, calling himself political party chairman, when the judgment has said that whatever that brought you here ceased to exist. The judgment that happened in the past shouldn't even have sat in the first place. So these are the issues. The elites are running the country, and they are in good times with the governing party, and the small masquerade, the small parties are there as political merchants to line their pockets and sell their party off.
Well, Charles, let me get you react to this issue that borders on the fact that people have come out to say that the president and the ruling All Progressive Congress have been at the forefront of championing the cause of political discord and political disunity among minority political parties in order to enforce a one-party state on Nigerians. When you look at this, how correct is this narrative?
When you say correct, it means you must have had a study, you must have had evidence that is very black and white.
It's just a narrative. And
yeah.
Let's just use an allegation on the one party, on the ruling of Progressive Congress.
But by inference, putting 1 + 1, which might be 11 or might be 2 in politics, depending on who is counting, using our political understanding and language of what we are used to from the hindsight of our political history, you will understand that most of these political party chairmen are merchants, ready to submit their parties. Because off camera,
behind closed doors, we know they are under table doings.
So these are the things that is happening. So we would be correct in some sense when we say that these guys try to get a hold of political leadership so that they will bargain with it and sell it off.
An interesting conversation so far. Charles, let's go for this short break, and when we come back, we will delve into the other part of this conversation where we'll begin to also dot the I's and also cross the T's along the political lines. Please, viewers, stay with us. After this break, we will be able to talk more even on these issues. Please stay with us. Go nowhere. Victor continues in a moment. All right, welcome back. And just in case you're just joining us, this is still Big Talk here on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. And my name is Godwin Sunday. Now, let's even return back to the conversation. Well, Charles, when we look at the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria, you've said that we are not there yet, even in the one-party system. But then we take this conversation from Lagos, which happens to be on the southwestern part of Nigeria, and narrow it down to the east. When you look at the various geopolitical zones of Nigeria, have we been captured already in, or have we been embellished with the one-party syndrome? Or have we, your own assessment, have we been engaged or married already in the one-party tradition that is already sweeping through the country, allegedly?
I think we are at the toasting level.
Okay.
But he is still maintaining responsibility to his party. That is good. That's the kind of people we want to see. Places like Oyo State and Osun State. Although they are still toasting the guy in Osun State.
Let me even get personal with you at this point. If you were to be a governor of a state, seeing the ruthlessness of the boat right now, coupled with the various tussle and failed economy that has tended to greet major states across the country, you've seen a president that is ready and willing to oblige you the privilege and opportunity to have access to various resources. Will you rather want to stay with a boat that is going down the drain, or you rather plug to the right source in order for you to stay afloat, as a practical experience right now?
Practically, when I become governor, Whatever that is due for you should come to you. You don't tell me you can't give me my allocation because I'm not in your party. You can't tell me I can no longer lobby to get things rooted to my state because I'm not in your party. No. My responsibility is to these guys I am in. And if I have problem in my party, I will solve it. I will not go anywhere. And I will be in cordial relationship with the president, and the president, I expect him to be in cordial relationship with me and offer me the constitutional provisions of the things that are meant to come to my state as a governor. So it's not a question of me jumping off because I want to be in the good books of the president. Because with the current situation, the easiest, if I'm the governor now, the easiest example I will give the president, if he ever suggests, is that, Mr. President, when you were in my shoe, weren't you toasted to come to PDP? Did you move? So I want to learn, and I'm implementing what I have learned from you on those days of your opposition. My people likes me to be in this party, and we are doing well with it. They appreciate you. So what is due for me should come to me.
Well, some people will say, and begin to talk as we begin to wrap up right now, talk about some of the history of one-party system in Nigeria. Of course, people will say that one-party system has become a norm in the Nigerian political space. It did not start with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It has been there right from President Olusegun Obasanjo's administration. 26 years down the line, we're still witnessing a one-party system and one-party syndrome across the country. The potential of a one-party syndrome, I beg your pardon. When one begin to look at President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the various clamoring across the country that he is already pushing Nigerian politicians and tailoring the country along one-party line. He is a one-party conservationist, like most Nigerians will say, and pushing Nigerians through the one party for them to come and also embrace the renewed hope agenda which he proposed, and they are aligning their thought with him. And Nigerians are saying that you're already pushing us and tilting the various states into a one-party system. Is there something wrong with the president saying, I know the road? And by the conclusion is follow Uno road. And the other way around, which is that most governors right now are also hinging their own beliefs around the president line. Is there something wrong?
There were times we cannot easily call somebody in Lagos over the phone. There are times that we have to write a letter and wait for somebody to get the letter before they can write and get back to us. Somebody came and fixed that. Is that not a development? There were times we had people queue in behind people's window to watch the TV. So every governance, every president comes with their own development. As at that time, the people that are shouting all these things now, some of them still active players now, we are shouting all the praise chants of Obasanjo then, PDP members.
He has been able to ensure that there is growth in security concerns across the country. But we look at this, what would have even been the reason why we would say that Nigeria is already tilted? Because we've seen more governors, and more governors are already folding their sleeves to join the All Progressive Congress. But when you look at this, what will be even the reasons for all of this? Okay.
In insecurity, joining the APC does not alienate your state from security concerns. Governor Alia is the governor in an APC state. You heard what happened in his state. So these conversations, jumping in to the ruling party, does not shield your state from any happenstances that are untoward to the people. The problem with security is not today. Previous PDP governments has issues of insecurity. But the question is, if you listen to P2B when he talks about insecurity, and if we align it this way, when people are not educated, when people are not self-aware, when people are not empowered, when people don't understand the value that they possess and they can be able to make something great out of their life, like you are now, there is a conversation that people cannot even imagine talking behind, talking to your hearing, because they are very, very enlightened. But somebody that is not as enlightened as you can easily listen to that conversation and join the gang because they are not enlightened, they are not educated. So if we fix the massive illiteracy of those people that are easily preyed, the availability of those they recruit. I think that was why Jonathan introduced the Amajiri school system, which was resisted. So if we focus on, as we are trying to tackle insecurity, the root cause of people that do not have value in themselves, not self-aware, not educated to understand that they are capable of generating wealth themselves, being useful to the society, they will easily join these gangs and continue to drive our insecurity to the roof. So our insecurity remains a problem. Chunk of the budget goes to it, of which some people still talk about one or two things around the budget.
I was hoping that I would get to hear from you also that the fact that opposition have also betrayed Nigerians' trust could also be a reason why most politicians right now will want to also try to tag along the ruling party in order to regain public confidence and come 2027.
A member of APC will not join APC, right? He is already a member of APC,
yeah, the opposition.
Right? So the people joining the APC are the oppositions that have failed in their homework, scored themselves and joined the other. Even if I'm in APC, I will distance myself from them because they will infest me.
Okay. When you say they will infest, that sounds like a virus. But it's interesting.
Because they are coming from a place that they cannot fix. And they're coming with baggages there to infest me.
Well, it's a very interesting conversation. I wish we have more time to even delve into all of this conversation by extension. But then I've been signaled right now that it's time for us to go. I want to say thank you so much, Charles, for being a part of Big Talk today.
Thank you, Godwin. It's my pleasure.
Well, viewers, this is now how we can go on Big Talk this evening. Well, do remember that you can join the conversation on our various social media handle currently showing on your screen using @Global TV NG. Don't forget that you can also download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app from your Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcasts. My name is Godwin Sunday. Always remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. From all of us here on the Global TV and Big Talk crew, we say bye for now and enjoy the rest of your evening.